From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Hello everyone. Well, you think about some of the thunderstorm activity we've seen over the last couple of weeks here. Things are quieting down, and of course it was fairly quiet out there today for the higher elevations, for the inland areas. But we got another day tomorrow that we're going to see, it looks like some activity moving on through as the weak disturbances pass through. So overall, we have less thunderstorm activity in the forecast, but as we look at future casts, you'll see what I'm talking about. Tomorrow is another day that we got to watch closely, and honestly is a bit of a concern. All right, so here you can see here we have cooler temperatures the rest of the week and no heat waves are inside. So that's at least some silver lining in there, that it's not going to get too terribly hot. Now the smoke is just continuing to really just stay within the vicinity right here. Northern Humboldt, Del Norte County, and not to mention into western Siskiyou County, and even making its way into parts of northern Trinity County as well. But it's really not going out much farther beyond that. You can see a little bit towards central Siskiyou County, but overall that smoke really isn't traveling very long distances. Now we look at the forecast for tonight. Of course, you got those smoky skies here for the inland areas, and of course we're looking at hazy skies elsewhere. It just depends on where you are. I mean, as closer you are to the fire, obviously the more smoke that you're going to see. Looking at Trinity County, we're dropping down the upper 50s to about 60 tonight, and around upper 80s to about 90 degrees for that daytime high tomorrow. But overall, what we're seeing here is an area of low pressure here. Now this actually is not going to move through the Pacific Northwest. It's just going to kind of hover and hang out right about here. That's actually important for the heat, because we've got a lot of heat over the central and eastern United States that actually is expanding into our region. But as long as this is in place, that'll prevent a lot of that heat from building in, and that's why we won't really see any major heat waves. Now, switching gears back to that potential for thunderstorms, here's what we're talking about here. Let's take you to tomorrow. So tomorrow in the afternoon, there are those thunderstorms popping up. Now you can see here, I mean, there's definitely going to be some lightning strikes embedded in there, all of Trinity County. That's 4 p.m. on Thursday. Let's take it about 6 p.m. Now you can see as we go into northern Humboldt County, Hoopa, Willow Creek, seeing some of those thunderstorms. Western Siskiyou County, looks like even towards Scott Valley, around Etna, Fort Jones. Still not in Del Norte County just yet, but as we go into the 7 and 8 o'clock hour tomorrow in the evening, there you can see some of the rain moving in. Now again, I talked about this the last few days, and this has been showing up on Futurecast for the last few days, so there's a little bit more confidence that this is going to really start to materialize. But one of the good things is, obviously, if we can get a good downpour out of it, that will help in the firefighting efforts. Put some rain on the fire, that should help. But the problem is, if this turns into a strong thunderstorm, then what you're looking at here are, number one, lightning strikes. You don't want that. And number two, erratic, gusty winds tend to accompany these thunderstorms. You don't want the winds when we're talking about the fire, even if it is raining, because those winds can help fan that fire and cause it to spread. So let's hope for the best. We'll keep watching that very closely. And then as we go into tomorrow night, it's gone, and then it looks like Friday it'll be dry. And looking at those drier conditions entering the picture here. Now, let's talk about the temperatures. Remember I was talking about it, we had that cooler air over the Gulf of Alaska. That's preventing us from warming up a whole lot. So basically, for Trinity County, Weaverville, Hayfork, for example, basically between 85 and 90 degrees for the next 7 to even 10 days. Now, let's take a look at the wave heights, and there you can see as we take you into tomorrow, there's 5 p.m., we're looking at wave heights of about 6 feet. Nothing major, nothing too terribly concerning. The marine forecast for tomorrow is winds from the north at 5 to 10 knots. Waves from the northwest at 6 feet at 8 seconds. Now you can see your low tide will be tomorrow morning at about 11:09, and your high tide tomorrow evening at about 6:08 p.m. There's your sunrise and sunset, and of course no alerts, at least for the immediate coast. All right, so heading out to the Humboldt County Fair, we're getting closer to the weekend. Of course, no rain in the forecast. Looking at some pretty mild temperatures, upper 60s here for your Friday and your Saturday. And that'll pretty much be the case going into Sunday as well. Tonight, dropping down in the 50s and even some 60s out there. And for tomorrow, yeah, we're right around the 85 to 90 degree mark in Trinity County, and even some mid to upper 90s inland. And then we take you along the coast, the immediate coast in the mid 60s. You head a little bit more inland, now you're looking at temperatures into the 70s. All right, so here's your 7-day outlook. And of course, we got dry conditions for Crescent City. However, that being said, you saw how close that rain was even to the coast of Crescent City. So could we see a straight shower, some rain in Crescent City? It's not out of the question. Quite honestly, you could see some rain if it heads that far to the west. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But Hoopa, Weaverville, yeah, you got a chance for showers. afternoon, and not to mention the evening as well. And then those temperatures generally staying in the upper 80s, low 90s, at least through Monday, a slight dip on Tuesday. But overall, between 85 and 90, and that's the case here for Weaverville as well. We look at your 7-day outlook for Eureka. We got those temperatures in the mid-60s here as we take into Friday, Saturday, not to mention Sunday, and even into early next week, maybe up to about 67 by next Wednesday.